is how to see the difference between Ananda and Sukha. Ananda is when you are in your natural state. Sukham is when the senses are tickled. When the senses are tickled, that is Sukham. Anandam is when you are in your natural state. When you are in your natural state, we don't know what's happening. No. When senses get tickled, only we wake up. Correct? We wake up only when the senses get tickled. That is joy. Very good question. What happened to you today? We have an assumption of how everybody know. Suddenly, some null question like that, I'm getting a shock. Really. Because she's trained to ask only dumb, useless, foolish statements, not questions. She'll only make some foolish statements and go away. Today, by mistake, she asked one good question. Na question? How to differentiate, distinguish between the two? When what you experience as a joy is nothing but the senses getting tickled. You follow? We don't know anything other than the senses getting tickled. And we go on falling for that because we want our senses to get tickled again and again and again. Remember the rat experiment? They inserted the rod in the brain of the rat. And every time it touches that every time it touches the switch, it gets a joy. In 30 minutes, the rat died. Because it couldn't resist itself from touching. ஒரு வாட்டி டச் பண்ணா joy. Continuously touch பண்ணினே இருந்தா more and more joy, no? Correct? Are you able to follow? That's how you distinguish. When senses get tickled, that is joy. When you are in your natural state, that is bliss, Ananda. How not to fall for Sukham? You will not fall for Sukham when you know what is next. For you not to fall for Sukham, you should have the penetrating capacity to see the Dukkham in it. Then only you will not fall for Sukham. Are you able to follow? That's why we need Buddhi, the penetrating capacity. The intellect is needed. The Buddhi, the penetrating capacity, the intellect will tell you, there is Sukham now. What is next? Queue la yaar wait பண்ணி நிற்கிறாங்க next? Dukkham. And when Sukham comes, it goes away very fast. And when Dukkham comes, ஓவே மாட்டேன்றார் அவர், isn't it? ஜென்மாவான துக்கம் அப்படியே உட்கார்ந்துருக்கிறார் வீட்டுல, இல்லையா? சேர் போட்டுட்டு உட்கார்ந்துட்டாரு அவர். சுகம் கிராஸ் வென்டிலேஷன் மாதிரி, இந்த திறந்து விட்டா புஷ்னு போயிடுது. நத்திங் இஸ் ஹேப்பனிங் ஹியர். Therefore, clarity. What is the clarity? What is the clarity? Sukham is followed by what is going to happen next, the consequence. Sukham will necessarily be followed by the consequence of Dukkham. And the intensity of Dukkham will be more, and the intensity, the longevity and intensity of Sukham versus the longevity and the intensity of Dukkham. The Buddhi. Amit, remember this. Like a mantra, repeat it every day. The longevity and intensity. The intensity and longevity of Sukham. Second, the intensity and longevity of Dukkham. Disproportionate it is. Have you ever observed it? It is disproportionate it is. Why it is like that? The God of the who knows why it is like that? God only knows. That's creation. Buddhi must be there to understand. That's how you will not fall for it. Are you able to follow? The intensity of Sukham and the longevity of Sukham goes away. It disappears as fast as it appears. Sukham. Dukkham எப்படி இருக்கு? Uninvited permanent guest. Dukkam. Invitation, fleeting guest is Sukham. Are you able to follow? Uninvited, permanent guest. He doesn't leave the house. Ours Dukkam. Vango nalum. Even if he comes and leaves in a jiffy flash. Are you able to follow? Vijay, purida? That's how you get out of it. But the mind falls for that. But the mind falls for what? What does the mind fall for? Mind falls for that drop of honey. The mind falls for that drop of honey. What is the drop of honey? Ram Subramaniam. What is the drop of honey? Branch is breaking. Crocodile is waiting. The snake is, there is a tiger waiting down. There's a crocodile waiting in the thing. The branch is breaking. Well, and there is a snake that is anaconda. I don't know, anaconda. Correct. Some snake that is crawling. In this situation, what happens? The beehive got disturbed. In this situation, the beehive got disturbed. And when the beehive gets disturbed, what will drop? Honey. Look at that. In that situation, the man is. I saw a video. I don't know. One of my friends sends a video. I don't know whether anybody has seen that video. Such a beautiful. Oh, gosh. A crocodile has caught a monkey in the mouth. And the monkey is eating something from outside, not even realizing it's in the. Not even realizing in the crocodiles. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa gives a much grosser example. Yeah. The goats are taken for slaughtering. On the way to slaughter, they are mating kisses. Look at that. Are you able to follow? The goats are taken for slaughtering. On the way to get slaughtered, they are no buddhi at all. If they do it, it's understandable. Human being does it is consequence. What is the consequence? Intensity and longevity of dukkam. So what will help you not fall for it? That is a pessimistic way, sir. Go back to your natural state and be in Ananda. Na? Where is pessimism in this? Are you able to follow? Go back to your original state of Ananda and be in that bliss. Don't fall for this. Are you able to follow? Don't fall. How not to fall? Remember, intensity, longevity of Sukham. Intensity, longevity of Dukkam. Loan madri adu. EMI is madri. Another example. EMI madri adu. Yeah. You buy a Maybach then adama correct Maybach. I saw one Maybach in Delhi. I told that I said, what a beautiful Maybach it is. I couldn't even know that. I couldn't even understand what the distinction is. I'm so dumb. What a beautiful EMI. You buy that. The first day, very joyful. Next morning, 50% of the joy content is gone. Have you ever observed it? Any acquisition, next morning, 50% of the joy content is gone. And another honeymoon period, isn't it? That's called honeymoon. Marriage starts after the honeymoon period. Yeah, marriage, honeymoon, marriage, that's fantasy. Yeah. When does the actual marriage start? The day the honeymoon is over, marriage starts. The longevity of how it will be permanent honeymoon. There is a way. Ananda, come to bliss. There you will get it. Not through the senses. Are you able to follow the various examples you can give? You can give your own examples for all these things. I'm giving 3 or 4 examples that comes to my memory. You all can bring up with your own, come up with your own examples for all these things. You don't have to necessarily mechanically repeat the same examples. Come up with some example of yours which will bring about the change. What he calls as the penny drop. You follow? That's the distinction. How not to fall for Sukham? Have buddhi. Have buddhi. Buddhi means what? Understanding this. Longevity, intensity, and longevity.